Hi everyone, today we're going to learn about some of the patterns of the planets, and I just have a picture of me and my dog getting ready for the Colorado Trail, and if you look in the background, it looks like that could even be Mars, who knows. There are some similarities and differences with the terrain of the planets to Earth, and we're going to be looking at that over the next couple of days. So, you guys have a PowerPoint slide, and you're only having to do 1 through 8. So I'm going to go over some of the information from the slide that hopefully you can get a better understanding of. So there is a mnemonic that you guys might have learned when you were in elementary school, and this is to remember the order of the planets, starting from the one closest to the sun. So it's called "My Very Eager Mother Just Served Us Nachos." Okay, and you notice there's not a P. Okay, so Mercury is the first planet, the closest planet to the sun, and then there's Venus, and then there's us, we're the third rock from the sun, and then Mars, and then Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, not Uranus, but Uranus and Neptune. Those are the planets in our solar system, and no, Pluto is not considered a planet anymore. Okay? Now, one of the things you're going to be seeing a lot are pictures of the planets, and one of the things I hope that you understand is none of this is to scale in sizes, because if I were to put this on a piece of paper, you wouldn't see any of the planets. So it's kind of hard to understand the magnitude of the scale, but this kind of shows you the relative sizes to each other. And you'll be seeing videos and looking at some of the other information. And I wish we were together so that I can actually show you how big these are in relationship to each other. Okay? Now, one of the things you're going to learn is there are certain planets that are called the inner planets. These are the inner planets. And these are the outer planets. And there is a reason why they're considered the inner planet and the outer planets. And right between here is the asteroid belt. Now, there's a video you're going to watch that's going to show you a little bit more about it, but there are distinct differences between the inner and outer planets, and you can actually look at this and say, oh, okay, well, the inner planets are smaller. The outer planets are larger. Now, the inner planets are made of rock, and the outer planets are gassy, and so on and so forth. And you're going to look at a document where you're going to find out some of these trends. Now, there's a video right here. I'd like you to link on that either through the slides. I also added that video to Google Classroom. They're going to talk about some planets. And I talked about the two groups, the inner planets and the outer planets. And when you have your assessment on planets next week, you have to be able to identify the similarities and differences, okay? And the natural dividing line is the asteroid belt. And I hope some of you guys might be able to come up with some theories about why there's an asteroid belt out there, okay? So, again, planets in relationship to the sun. We have our sun here, okay? Our sun. I should have made it yellow. Sun. And our inner planets, okay? And then the asteroid belt, and then the outer planets. These are larger. These are smaller. These are rockier. These are more gaseous. Okay, and there's other things, okay? And we're going to try to figure out why there's an asteroid belt there. Now, here's a Venn diagram. If I were you, I would definitely write these down so that you can use it on next week's quiz on a piece of paper. So some other things you're going to find is inner planets are called terrestrial planets. They are small and rocky surfaces. They have solid surfaces. It's close to the sun, and no other planet has oceans like the Earth, which is interesting. They have actually a shorter period of revolution around the sun, and Venus is the only one that has retrograde motion, which means it doesn't spin counterclockwise around the North Pole like we do. It spins clockwise. Now, the outer planets, they're called gas giants. They're far, far away from the sun. It takes a long period to revolve around the sun, so their years are longer. Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune are huge and don't have solid surfaces. And they're much further apart than the inner planets are from each other. Now these are the similarities of them. Pluto and the inner planets are both rocky. They're all called planets, and they all orbit the sun in the same direction. Some have moons, and they all rotate on their axes, and both has at least one planet that is rocky. So that's how they are the same. Okay. Now, what you're going to do is there's a PDF you're going to download, and you're going to be looking at the patterns of the planet. And I'm going to get you started on how to do that. Now, you have downloaded what's called a planetary fact sheet, and I want you to upload this into Notability, and you're going to mark all over it. Put this in Notability, and you're going to mark over it because you are a scientist, and scientists actually look for patterns. And so if you look at the top, you have all the planets in their order. Now we do have Pluto, so you can realize why Pluto is not considered a planet after looking at this. And what you're going to do is you're going to look at the different characteristics, the mass, the diameter, the density, their gravity, escape velocity, all of these topics here, and you're going to look for trends, and you're going to highlight it, you're going to mark it. So let's look at the masses here, just to kind of give you a sense of what I'm looking at. So I'm looking at the masses of the inner planets, and these are in big numbers, and I'm noticing, okay, the moon's not that massive. Now the moon's not a planet, okay, it is a satellite. And I'm noticing, oh wow, look at this. Mars is not as heavy as the Earth, which means it probably has less gravity. Wow, look at how massive Jupiter is. So if I look at this, I'm noticing that the outer planets are more massive than the inner planets. And so I could, on the bottom of the sheet, somewhere you're going to write, okay, with one thing you notice, inner planets are more massive, are less massive than outer planets. Now, then you'll go to another characteristic. You might want to look at the length of days. This one's actually kind of cool. Or their hours in a day. And wow, Mercury, wow, it has a lot of hours in one day. And Earth, and this is compared to Earth Day. Earth is 24 hours. The moon is 708 hours for one day. And then, wow, what is this saying about the days? The inner planets tend to have, these are the inner planets, tend to have a lot more hours in their day than the outer planets, and you would write that down here. So what I want you to do, I'd like at least a minimum of 3, but I think if you are somebody who wants to find out a lot more and understand the planets more, I think you should have at least 6 observations written down, and you're going to turn this into Google Classroom. And then what's going to happen is on Wednesday night's supposed to be a very nice night. I'm going to actually have a Zoom meeting probably around 8 o'clock at night so I can show you how to find these planets in the nighttime sky. Have a good day. Bye.